gorgeous sunset over the San Francisco Bay. We're in the East Bay in Berkeley as a Pac-12 tilt. Here tonight, Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. The California Golden Bears ready to defend their home floor against Craig Robinson's Oregon State Beavers. Along with Miles Simon, Roxy Bernstein with you. Miles, take us to the one-on-one. What are you looking for tonight?
Well, first for Oregon State, Eric Moreland. Not enough people are talking about him. He's a great sixth man. He's 6'10". He's long. He's athletic. He's already second all-time at OSU in blocks with 115. Averages the double-double. And for Cal, we know about Crab and Cobbs. We know that they can put points on the board. But who's that third option to go along with these two guys? Is it going to be Richard Solomon, Tyrone Wallace? Who is going to step up on a consistent basis in the second half of the season for the Bears?
Here's the starting five for Oregon State, 11-9 on the season. The dynamic backcourt of Ahmad Starks and Roberto Nelson, the guys who really fuel it for Craig Robinson's Beavers. For California, the Bears come in at 11-8, and they need to get production inside from David Kravish playing on a sprained ankle and Richard Solomon, the junior center for the Golden Bears. Cal at 3-4 in the Pac-12. Oregon State splitting at home with the Washington schools last weekend. And the Beavers so far 1-6 in Pac-12 play, and California wins the opening tip. Home whites for Cal, orange tonight for Oregon State on the road.
And really a matchup to watch when Cal's on offense is Jarmel Reed, number 32, guarding Alan Crabb, one of the best scorers in the country for the Cal Bears.
And the Pac-12 leading scorer at 20 points a game. Offensive rebound, Richard Solomon, and a putback inside by the junior.
And you love that, to see that if you're a Cal Bear fan. Richard Solomon being active on the first possession and getting a basket in the paint area.
Initial possession for the Beavers. Here's Joe Burton, who's led Oregon State in assists in each of the last two seasons. Von Collier. Here's a tough pull-up jumper by Ahmad Starks that's off the mark. Alan Crabb rebounds, and Cal looks to push. Richard Solomon inside. He has all four.
And Roxy, as we just hit on that one-on-one, someone that can be the third guy. Richard Solomon, nearly 8 points a game, but tends to love being on the perimeter, shooting jump shots. Great sign early, 2 buckets in the paint, 2 possessions.
And Solomon a little late sliding over, called for the blocking foul. And the first whistled against either side here at Haas Pavilion in Berkeley.
And Roxy, as we watch this Oregon State team on the offensive end, they counter with 2 guards, very good guards of their own. Roberto Nelson and Ahmad Starks, 2 guys that can really fill it up from the perimeter. Excellent 3-point shooters. Neither of them natural point guards, but they're learning to play well together as the season goes along.
Roberto Nelson scoring for Oregon State. He is 6th in the Pac-12 in scoring this season. David Kravish on the baseline, and all 6 points for Cal coming from their post players.
And that was excellent ball movement. It went side to side a couple times, got the defense to shift, and then Kravish able to step out and knock down the 15-footer.
We welcome those of you who just finished watching Iowa and Penn State. We're in Berkeley, California. Pac-12 action is the Cal Bears hosting the Oregon State Beavers, along with the most outstanding player from the 1997 Final Four, the national champion Arizona Wildcats. Miles Simon, Roxy Bernstein with you. Pivotal Pac-12 tilt. Both teams really need this one. Joe Burton slaps the ball away. Oregon State a 4-on-1. Joe Burton missing the lead, and David Kravish the rebound. Here comes Cal on the counterattack, 3-on-2. The freshman Tyrone Wallace is fouled. A block called on Roberto Nelson of Oregon State. A little out of control there, Oregon State.
Well, probably a little bit too much. If you're Ahmad Starks, if no one stops you, I was always taught, especially by Lute Olson, that you continue to take the basketball to the rim. You see Justin Cobbs, he does a perfect job of just bluffing at the offensive player and then getting back to affect Joe Burton's shot.
Not a shooting foul. First team foul against the Beavers. Here's Alan Crabb, a 3, and the Pac-12 leading scorer gets his first points of the night. check called against Tyrone Wallace of Cal. The freshman whistled for his first, second team foul against the Golden Bears here.
And after Cal, their first 3 possessions of the game, they got all of their post guys involved. Kravish, Richard Solomon knocking down shots. You'd love to see Allen Crabbe, who's the overall leading scorer in the conference. And here, right here, just coming on a little baseline flare. Defender a little bit too late off the inbounds. Easy shot for Allen Crabbe.
Ahmad Starks nails a 3 for Oregon State. Starks averages 2.5 threes a game.
Yeah, Oregon State's a team that can fill it up. They average 74 points per game on the season. They're deadly from the outside, especially Nelson and Starks.
Justin Cobbs missing an open 3. The Minnesota transfer for Cal. Oregon State with possession. Roberto Nelson into the lane. Gets his own miss and puts it back in. We're tied at 9. And Nelson already with 6 for the Bees. Nice interior passing by Cal. David Kravish to Richard Solomon, who has 6.
Oregon State's gone to the zone the last few possessions. Excellent job by Kravish, flashing to that high post area. And at 6'9", able to find his buddy Solomon on the high-low action.
Joe Burton powers his way to the basket, and the flip up and in by the senior.
It's a treat to watch Joe Burton play at times because as big as he is, he's more of a finesse player. And you see the little touch on the flip shot right there, but you'll see some running hook shots tonight. He is absolutely a throwback. And I love the flash from the weak side by Allen Crabbe. Just a heads up, he's great moving without the ball. Allen Crabbe, that is.
Ahmad Starks has deep range as Justin Cobbs forcing him out. Roberto Nelson into the key. The tip in by Devon Collier.
Cal just giving up too many offensive rebounds. Right now, nobody blocking out, nobody being physical on the defensive end for the Bears.
Seems like Oregon State's having success right around the hoop. Post entry, Richard Solid blocked from behind by Devon Collier. Here comes Oregon State. Nice pass by Ahmad Starks to Joe Burton for the bucket.
And an excellent job by Joe Burton running the floor. Once that ball was blocked off the glass by Collier, Joe Burton was in a full sprint down the floor, running side to side, side by side with his point guard, Starks.
First lead for Oregon State.
Kravish is open in that high post area against the zone.
There is David Kravish, the jump hook. And the rebound controlled by Oregon State and Devon Collier. Collier from the weak side hits the jumper, and the Beavers lead it by 4.
And that's just too easy when you're David Kravish and you're 6'9", going against a guy of equal size. If you're playing with your hands down, you've made yourself smaller. Collier jabs him off and knocks down the easy 15-footer.
Oregon State 8 of 12 from the field. Richard Solomon missing, but the follow by David Kravish.
David Kravish playing well in conference, averaging 9 points a game, up over 2 points over his overall stats.
And a foul is called on Richard Solomon, his second.
Every three-pointer. Every rebound. Every fan.
Pivotal Pac-12 tilt. It's been up and down so far. Entertaining game, but who does the pace favor to this point?
I really think that favors Oregon State. Cal's a team that relies on really only 2 guys to score and play a lot of minutes, but Oregon State, they want to get up and down. They have a very athletic front line.
We'll take us to the one-on-one. What are you looking for in this matchup tonight?
Well, part of that athletic front line starts with one of the best 6 men in the country, and that's Eric Moreland. He's 6'10", he runs the floor, he's an excellent shot blocker, second all-time in Oregon State history already, only into his sophomore year. impacts the game on both ends. And then we know about Allen Crabbe and Justin Cobbs, what they bring to the table, scoring a lot of points. But who's going to step up and be that third option for the Cal Bears on a consistent basis? They would really love for it to be Richard Solomon, but Tyrone Wallace, the freshman, playing well as of late.
Richard Solomon just picking up his second foul for Cal. He has to check out, and Eric Moreland into the game and shoots it immediately for the Beavers and scores. Oregon State leads it by 4.
Eric Moreland is just a much improved player. He's averaging the double-double on the season. He's third in the Pac-12 in field goal percentage, but what Coach Robinson told me earlier today, he's just a much improved shooter from last season.
Moreland second to Pac-12 in rebounding to Colorado's Andre Robertson. Allen Crabbe missing a deep 3. Kept alive on the offensive end by the Golden Bears, but David Kravish can't control and loses it out of bounds to the Beavers.
Roxy, I like the possession. They get the ball to Kravish in the high post, but he seems to lack confidence at times. He was wide open at 15 feet. He's made a 15-footer from the left baseline already. His eyes didn't even go to the hoop, just automatically looking to Allen Crabbe. He has to continue to be more aggressive.
And that's something Mike Montgomery's talked to us about with David Kravish. He wants Kravish to be more assertive on the offensive end, and there was a passive possession right there for the Bears power forward.
He's a very skilled player, 6'9". He's put on 20 pounds in the offseason, and he needs to complement what Crabbe and Cobbs do. Those two guys can't carry the load every night.
Working the baseline, Devon Collier puts back his own miss, and Oregon State leads it by 6.
And the third offensive rebound already for Oregon State. Continually crashing the glass.
Was it too easy for Oregon State to get inside?
Right now, no physicality by the Cal Bears on the defensive end. Really not much resistance at all. Guys are getting to the rim, getting to the paint way too easily.
Here's Roberto Nelson. Eric Moreland looks to attack David Kravish. Missed the jump hook. Robert Thurman, a former walk-on. 6'10" senior, rebounds for Cal. Long 2, missed from Justin Cobbs, and Olaf Schaftenar the rebound for Oregon State.
And that's not a good shot. Nobody touched the basketball there.
Starks misses a 3.
Yeah, no passes and a contested long 2.
Oregon State by 6, just about 8 minutes in here in Berkeley. Nice play by Allen Crabbe to save it. Has a look at a 3. Knocks it down. Second 3 for Allen Crabbe.
But look at this. Nobody gets back on defense. That's the reason Mike Montgomery is furious on the sideline with Robert Thurman. But that's also partly the point guard's fault. Has to get back, point, direct, tell guys where their man is at as they're running the floor. Great job by Devon Collier, sprinting and finishing.
Here's Justin Cobbs. Another look at a 3, Allen Crabbe. This one short. David Kravish keeps it alive for Cal. Brandon Smith, the senior, drives, has a shot blocked. And then a foul trying to get the loose ball, and a foul on California. Oregon State leads it by 5.
Well, how about Allen Crabbe saving the basketball, keeping the play alive, regrouping in the corner, and knocking down the big-time 3.
Right here, Oregon State Thursday Night Showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. Beavers lead Cal by 5.
Well, as we watch this play, we see Robert Thurman. He makes the pass right there, okay, to Allen Crabbe in the corner shot. Then watch Robert Thurman, number 34. He's just on a jog. But Devon Collier for Oregon State, he's in a full sprint. That's Robert Thurman's man. And then let's watch Mike Montgomery in the upper corner of your screen there, stomping his feet. Very upset at Robert Thurman. A cardinal sin in basketball on a made basket. You can't give up a transition layup off a made basket. That's just no hustle there by the Cal Bears to recover on the defensive end.
Oregon State with the ball. Charlie Barton checks in, a sophomore from Sweden. Out there with the local product, Langston Morris Walker, a freshman from right here in Berkeley. Tonight is a really big deal for Morris Walker coming home.
And then now Cal goes zone, 1-2-2, kind of matching up out of it.
There is Morris Walker, knocks down the 3. Let me ask you, when you grew up in Southern California playing in Arizona, how big of a deal was it for you when you'd head back to play USC and UCLA?
Huge deal. You have a lot of parents, a lot of family, friends, people that watched you growing up playing basketball in support. Sometimes guys can get overly anxious or a little bit too nervous and trying to do too much. But I always felt comfortable playing at home, and it was always important to me, especially because UCLA never offered me a scholarship.
You take it out of the Bruins?
I tried my best.
Pass broken up by a hustling Jamal Reed. It stays with Cal, but just 3 on the shot clock for the Golden Bears right near midcourt.
And Langston Morris Walker is a guy that put up great numbers, 21, 9, and 6 assists in high school. But he said he felt very comfortable with Craig Robinson and the opportunity that Robinson was going to present to him his freshman year to be able to play.
Allen Crabbe, desperation 3, off the mark, and there is Morris Walker the rebound. Oregon State pushes. Beavers by 8. Jamal Reed has it stripped by Bach. And the senior from the Sudan with the steal for California. A team that had 5 steals in the first, or 16 steals in their first 5 games of Pac-12 play. They have had 16 in each of the last 2. Well, explain that.
They've just been more active on the defensive end, buying in, getting their hands on balls. They have good athletes and great length. It's just a matter of utilizing it.
Here's Joe Burton going to work. Pulls over Robert Thurman. And wave it off, and an offensive foul. The charge on the 6'7" senior, Joe Burton. ACC Sunday Night Basketball on ESPNU as the Virginia Cavaliers take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at 3 o'clock Eastern. You can also see it live on Watch ESPN. ESPN, the home court. College hoops, ACC Sunday Night Basketball.
Virginia coming off an excellent win against the NC State team that no one can figure out. NC State comes out with big wins and then goes on the road and suffers a loss.
Cal breaks the 1-3-1, but Bach misses a chippy inside. Oregon State back the other way. Joe Burton puts Oregon State up 10. And a timeout taken by Mike Montgomery in a 30 as the Beavers on an 11-3 run right now. Up 10 here in Berkeley, and the stunned Cal Bears trying to regroup.
Well, this is a great job. A look ahead, one more extra pass. Moreland able to compose himself just enough to find a cutting Joe Burton at the rim. Nearly a block charge, and Joe Burton able to get the little quick release layup. He's not the most athletic player, but he does have excellent touch around the basket.
So Joe Burton, the do-everything guy for Oregon State. It's not often you see a big guy like that lead a team in assists. He's done it each of the last 2 years. And if he can do it again this season, he'll be the first non-point guard in Oregon State history to lead the Beavers in assists for 3 consecutive seasons.
Well, he just has an excellent feel for the game. He was actually Craig Robinson's first recruit when Craig Robinson took the job at Oregon State. So a special place in Craig Robinson's heart for Big Joe Burton.
Oregon State showing that 1-3-1 zone, which has been a staple for Craig Robinson, but they drop back into the conventional 2-3.
Well, they've showed 3 defenses tonight. They started out man-to-man, went to the 2-3, and then the 1-3-1, just kind of to keep teams off balance, because when you come out of a timeout, Mike Montgomery might have a play set up for the 1-3-1, or man-to-man, Craig Robinson keeping them on their toes, and then another bad offensive possession by the Bears.
Oregon State 65% from the field. Morris Walker losing the ball out of bounds. Oregon State with a turnover. Craig Robinson in his 5th year in Corvallis. They won the 2009 CBI championship, and as you probably know, he is the brother of Michelle Obama and the brother-in-law of the President Barack Obama.
Well, he's done a great job in trying to rebuild this Oregon State program, which was in the early 90s when you had Gary Payton, Brent Barry, you know, very formidable, has had some lean years, but you know, they won the CBI 2 years ago. He developed a first-round draft pick in Jared Cunningham last year, who was able to leave early for the draft. And Craig Robinson, an excellent player in his own right, 2-time Ivy League Player of the Year.
Played at Princeton. Oregon State leading it by 10. Joe Burton to Jamal Reed. Ball stripped, and a blocking foul against Tyrone Wallace of California. The second called against the freshman.
And here you see the double team comes, unselfish play with the left hand, Jamal Reed with the drive. Tyrone Wallace still sliding over into position a little bit too late.
5th California team foul. Cal fell asleep off the inbound, and Roberto Nelson makes him pay for it.
Cal just doesn't look ready to play. Besides maybe the first few possessions when Solomon scored 2 times inside, Kravish got a short baseline jumper. They've mostly been walking the basketball up the floor, not too active on the defensive end, and Oregon State making them pay.
Allen Crabbe steps into a 3. He's ready to play. He has 11.
Allen Crabbe is so smooth. He's 14th in the nation in scoring at 20 points per game. 11 times over the 20-point mark already this season.
Joe Burton underneath, scores again inside.
How about no resistance there from Richard Solomon? Easy post catch right at the block. Joe Burton just powers his way down at 295. He's a load at the block.
Is that a case where Solomon's probably playing it cautious because of 2 fouls already?
Yeah, a little bit, but if you want to do that, don't let him get the post entry 3/4 or maybe front the post. That way Burton's not catching it on the block.
Jamal Reed. Pass behind Roberto Nelson. Oregon State gives it away. Beavers lead it by 11 here in Berkeley. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, and Oregon State off to a great start. The Beavers at 68% shooting, up 11. And it's time for a weekly installment of the Simon Showcase as he takes you one-on-one with the Pac-12 leading scorer, Allen Crabbe of Cal.
Today, Allen Crabbe is going to show us 3 different ways that he uses a down screen to get open for a jump shot. The first one, he's going to receive the down screen, set his man up, walk him in, come off when I'm lock and trail, tight curl, and knock down the shot. The second way is he's going to walk me in, create separation, get me off of his body, and create room for the 3-point shot. Good. And the third way is, after he's seen the lock and trail for a curl, the separation for a down screen, the defender now cheats over the top of the screen and he flares out for a corner jump shot. And that's why Allen Crabbe is one of the best in the Pac-12 at using screens.
And here we see Allen Crabbe on the baseline inbounds. He comes off, uses the Richard Solomon screen. He's great at getting his feet set and getting squared to the basket in a timely manner. 10 toes to the rim, perfect follow through. And at 6'6", hard to contest his shot with that quick release.
Already 11 points for Crabbe, who averages 20 points a game to pace the Pac-12 conference. Cal needs to find a little spurt here. Oregon State right now taking it to California here in Berkeley.
And then again now, Craig Robinson, great at mixing up defenses, just a little 2-2-1 to slow up the Cal Bears as they try to get into their offense.
There's David Kravish knocking in the jumper from the free throw line.
And we talked about that about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Kravish got it in the high post, didn't even get a look. He's very skilled, very talented, 17 feet and in.
Jeff Powers checks in for Cal, a transfer from Denver University. It's Mike Montgomery looking for a spark on the defensive end here.
But the problem for the Bears, you're right, Roxy, is the defensive end. They haven't been able to get stops. 15 for 22 is Oregon State in the first half.
Here's Ahmad Starks. That was a pass by Roberto Nelson. Joe Burton missing inside, but kept alive on the offensive end, but missed by Eric Moreland. Nice job by the Beavers getting back in transition. Justin Cobbs, a long 3. Not really a 3-point shooter, just his 10th of the year.
But not this season, he's not. 28% on the season going into tonight. But he was 41% last year, just taking a dip, but he's more than capable of making threes. And that was excellent defensive positioning right there by Justin Cobbs. If you want to see how to deny a basketball, Justin Cobbs did it to perfection right there. If someone was teaching you shell drill, Justin Cobbs getting his hand and body, his left hand in that passing lane there to deflect it off of Ahmad Starks.
Cal within 6, Oregon State leading by as many as 12 already. Shot clock at 11. And David Kravish losing the ball out of bounds, and Cal turns it over. Mike Montgomery looking for his 100th victory as the Cal head coach tonight. His 5th season in Berkeley. 646 career wins for Mike Montgomery in a Final Four trip with Stanford back in 1998. Roberto Nelson has it stripped. Joe Burton cleans it up inside, and Burton has 10.
Just a fortuitous bounce there for the Oregon State Beavers. Roberto Nelson actually tried to force up a bad shot. He had Ahmad Starks wide open on the perimeter, but the ball bounces right back to Burton.
Oregon State with 22 points already in the paint.
Well, they have the dominant front line. Solomon and Kravis, more finesse players. Burton, Collier, and Moreland. Guys that love to attack the rim and that are very athletic at finishing.
Men's college basketball continues on ESPNU Saturday with a doubleheader at 7. Number 16 Ole Miss takes on number 4 Florida. Then at 9, Arizona State goes up against Washington. We can see it live on Watch ESPN. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Good doubleheader here on Saturday.
Florida's been one of the most dominant teams in the country as of late, winning their conference games by over 25 points per game. Ole Miss combats that with Marshall Henderson, the very outspoken one.
We've seen Ole Miss a few times. There's the hook by Joe Burton, and Allen Crabbe rebounds. Cal pushes.
And that's actually an okay shot for Joe Burton. He practices that, shoots that quite often in games.
Jeff Powers missing the 3. Joe Burton the rebound for the Beavers. Arizona State and Washington go at it in Seattle. That's a good matchup coming up. Oregon State, how are they getting it done so far here in Berkeley against Cal?
Well, they've been dominant in the paint area. 22 points in the paint already in the first half. But look for Cal. There's no resistance on the defensive end. Tyrone Wallace just surrenders penetration to Roberto Nelson. Straight line drives 2 times in a row there. Then Devon Collier just overpowering Robert Thurman there. Quicker on the second jump. And this one a fortuitous bounce. But it all started with Roberto Nelson getting 2 feet to the middle of the paint. They're dominating that navy blue area where the Cal Bears need to get much better and much more of a physical presence on the defensive end.
Oregon State 62% for the field. They've assisted on 10 of their 16 field goals so far. So it shows that they're sharing the ball.
And that was a big point of emphasis that Coach Robinson shared with me at shoot-around today. He said his team has great chemistry and they love to share the basketball and are extremely unselfish.
Oregon State 6th in the conference in field goal percentage at 46 collectively. Is that a sign of it also when a forward leads the team in assists?
Well, I think they're not playing with natural point guards. When you're talking about Starks and Nelson, those guys are scoring guards. They're not assist makers or playmakers. They can make plays for themselves. But Joe Burton is really the facilitator. And remember, when you run Princeton offense, you have to have skilled big men that can pass, dribble, and shoot. And Joe Burton and Collier and Moreland are those guys.
And the one thing to keep in mind about the Princeton offense is Craig Robinson telling us it's not necessarily a slow down offense. It's about spacing, it's about angles, and it's about creating the best shot opportunities, more so than it is about pacing.
Absolutely, and the other thing he emphasized to me, it's about player development. Just on those points that I hit, all 5 guys in the Princeton offense need to be able to pass, dribble, and shoot. Because there's not one guy that doesn't handle it on the perimeter, not one guy that doesn't have to make the backdoor pass from the 1 spot to the 5 spot.
Oregon State can push it back to double figures this trip.
And here we'll see it right here. Princeton offense, Joe Burton, it's initiated at the top of the key. A lot of dribble handoffs. If they overplay, they're going to backdoor. That time, Allen Crabbe, he goes under, and Roberto Nelson makes him pay. You have to kind of pick your poison defensively. What are you going to take away when you're defending the Princeton offense?
Oregon State by 11, and Nelson has 11. Robert Thurman underneath off the assist from Justin Cobbs.
Nice job by Justin Cobbs of coming tight to that screen and drawing another defender and delivering a bullet pass to Thurman.
Another look at a 3 from Nelson. This one short. Loose ball. Jeff Powers appears to be hurt for California. And a foul called against the Golden Bears. Jeff Powers clutching his left knee. The junior went to De La Salle High School here in the East Bay. Initially started his collegiate career at Denver University, transferring back to the Bay Area, and he's shaken up for Cal. It's Jeff Powers trying to hustle for the loose ball.
And he's going to come in from the left side of your screen there, just trying to make a play on that loose ball. And that left knee, a little bit of a buckle. All you can hope for is that it's nothing serious on the end. This is not something that Cal needs. They already lack a ton of depth. Missing Ricky Kreklow, the Missouri transfer who was projected to be a starter this year.
Ricky Kreklow, who transferred in from Missouri, has only played in 5 games this season because of a right foot injury. That's him right behind the security guard in the yellow and blue jacket, or gold and blue jacket. That's Ricky Kreklow. It's a right foot injury. He's hoping to be back in a few weeks. Cal just getting Brandon Smith back after he missed about a month with a concussion. They've lost one of their post players, Christian Behrens, for this season with a torn ACL. It just seems like for Mike Montgomery and Cal, it's been one injury after the next in a really unfortunate situation.
And Powers just trying to make a play on the basketball and just a little bit of an awkward fall. Not able to put any pressure on it as he walked off the floor.
Second foul, by the way, on David Kravish, and Roberto Nelson shooting for Oregon State here, a 76% free throw shooter. And he matches the correction. Oregon State now leading it by 10.
Craig Robinson spoke glowingly about this young man, Roberto Nelson. When I coached at Arizona, Roberto Nelson was on our radar as a top recruit out of Santa Barbara High School. But he's a young man. What Coach Robinson really emphasized for me, that he wasn't a great student when he first came to OSU, but now he's on track to graduate and has one of the better GPAs on this Oregon State team. And that was what Craig Robinson was most proud of about Roberto Nelson, his progress off the court as a person, maturing, and then his progress in the classroom as a great student athlete.
And his academics cost him his true freshman season and forced him to redshirt at Oregon State and the first 7 games of his redshirt freshman season. He's really blossoming now in his junior year. Ball stripped. David Kravish hits the deck, tied up by Eric Moreland. Alternating possession points toward Oregon State.
And you can see with this lineup in for Cal, with Brandon Smith in there, not really a three-point threat. Cobb's not shooting the 3 ball as well this year. Cal as a team is last in Pac-12 play in 3-point percentage, and that's why Craig Robinson is staying with this zone, the 2-3 or the 1-3-1, where Allen Crabbe is really the only constant threat from behind the arc.
As a team, Cal just 31% from downtown. And Oregon State defends the 3 ball very well. Devon Collier inside. Collier dives and jump ball. This time it will go to Cal with 1:22 left until halftime.
And that's just a break for the Cal Bears. And I'm watching Allen Crabbe right here is at half court. He should be in there at 6'6". He's an excellent guard rebounder, nearly 6 rebounds per game, but he's not in there cracking back and rebounding. You got to help the bigs out and get some boards if you're the guards in this situation. 2 Beaver players out-hustled 4 Cal players for that basketball.
Some extended pressure from Oregon State.
So Cal, with the non-shooters in the game, need to penetrate the zone.
Brandon Smith knocks down a 3.
Excuse me, Roxy Bernstein.
He took offense to that comment.
Is only his 4th made 3 on the season, but he shot that one with a ton of confidence.
Much needed shot for California to pull the Bears within 8. Moreland. Offensive foul on Eric Moreland. And Robert Thurman, the big man, takes the charge for Cal.
Nice job by Robert Thurman. Kind of the tough guy on this team. Been playing well on the offensive end as of late. Over the weekend, averaged 8 points a game over their 2-game two-game spread against Utah and Colorado.
Is this where you try to go quick, get a 2-for-1?
Yeah, college guys just aren't as adept at that, but they're trying to get it in this case. Excellent entry pass.
Bach gets it in over Wolof Shaftanar.
Two guys went with Alan Crabb. Bach did what he's supposed to do, step to the basketball, finish the tough shot.
Oregon State can play for the final shot of the half. Cal is within 6. Craig Robinson trying to get timeout. He's all the way in half court, and he finally gets it with 15 seconds remaining until halftime. So the Beavers take their use it or lose it timeout here to set up one last play. All right, Oregon State here, one last possession. Where are they looking to go?
Well, I think you want to go to Ahmad Starks, let him create maybe in a high ball screen situations.
Here is Starks with the ball. Starks gets the roll. Great end to a fantastic first half for Oregon State. The Beavers lead it by 8.
Well, it wasn't executed perfectly, but done well enough. Ahmad Starks with the perfect finish to a great first half for Oregon State, scoring 41 points and dominating the paint area.
Ahmad Starks with 5. Roberto Nelson leading all scorers for 13. Oregon State 41-33 over Cal here at the half. Here's Oregon State getting it done.
Well, this is one of the few positive plays by the Cal Bears, the save and then the 3, but this is where it goes all bad. Devon Collier just in a full sprint beats all 5 Cal Bears down the court. We see Coach Montgomery stopping there. Tyrone Wallace just surrenders on the defensive end. Nobody reacts on the offensive rebound. Again, middle penetration, late on the rotation. If you're going to be late on the rotation, at least block your guy out. Devon Collier just overpowers Thurman right there. And then now, lazy defense, you go under against one of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Roberto Nelson makes you pay. California, when they look back on that tape in the first half tomorrow, are going to be mortified about how bad they were on the defensive end.
Oregon State 60% from the field in the first half and 22 points in the paint for Oregon State. What does Cal need to do here in the second half to adjust to get back into this one?
I think defensively, Roxy, they need to be more physical, a more concentrated effort of keeping them out of the paint, whether it's by the dribble or the pass. And then on the offensive end, they have to be more aggressive, and that's everybody. It can't just be Alan Crabb, the only one looking for a shot. Solomon and Crabb has delivered solid numbers. Continue to feed those two guys early in the half.
Here's Ahmad Starks. Joe Burton, who's done it all so far for the Beavers. Burton underneath, flips it up. Tipped up by Devon Collier. No, cleared by Richard Solomon and Cal. He was active early, then picked up a couple of fouls and really wasn't heard from again in the first half. Justin Cobb's a clean look. Knocks down the 3.
Nice job by Tyrone Wallace. He was open for the perimeter jumper. He doesn't have a ton of confidence in his outside stroke yet, but he creates for his teammate, Cobbs.
Poked out of bounds by Alan Crabb.
And here you see Tyrone Wallace, the freshman from Bakersfield. He's hiding underneath the basket, pops out. He's wide open for the jumper, takes his time, gets to his strong hand, draws Justin Cobb's defender and delivers the pass on time and on target.
Out of bounds, last touch by Richard Solomon in Cal as Roberto Nelson crouching the key. Nelson with 13 points, leading all scorers in the game. Alan Crabb, the conference's leading scorer, has 11 to pace Cal. There is Nelson. Banks it in. Tough shot from the angle.
And there's nothing you can do about that one. That was excellent defense by Tyrone Wallace. Just better offense in that case by Roberto Nelson.
Alan Crabb for 3. Too strong over Jarmal Reed. And Joe Burton with the rebound for Oregon State. Richard Solomon the rebound. Cal looks to counterattack. Tyrone Wallace works the baseline.
Nice control there by Justin Cobbs. Didn't force it. They didn't even actually have the numbers, but he probed the defense enough to the foul line to draw two guys and deliver that pass.
First points for Wallace. Cal within 5. And a hand check, the third personal on Wallace.
And here's where Cal can really excel, is in the fast break game. They got to stop. They probe the defense. Two guys draw. Excellent dish to Tyrone Wallace for the reverse layup. Another angle. Tyrone Wallace never gave up on the play, even though he got the ball late, but that was the plan of action by Justin Cobbs there.
Joe Burton underneath. Somehow spins it up and in.
Too easy on the post entry there. The out of sideline, out of bounds play. They ISO Joe Burton. They deliver the pass on the money. Burton with the soft touch.
Knocked away by Nelson. The steal, Ahmad Starks, 3-on-1. Eric Moreland is fouled. First on Allen Crabbe.
Roxy, against zone defenses, you don't want to turn your back to the zone and then try to throw a 20 to 25 foot pass across your body. Allen Crabbe tries to go back. He had jumped in the air. You don't want to leave your feet, stay in control. Excellent job by Roberto Nelson, and then Ahmad Starks with the heads-up play to follow that basketball, pick it up, and lead to the transition opportunity.
Moreland is 60% free throw shooter. Shooting a pair here. And the first one rolls in as Moreland now with 3 points tonight. 6'10" sophomore who originally he signed with UTEP coming out of high school, but then when Tony Barbee left UTEP to go to Auburn, he was released from his letter of intent and signed with Oregon State.
Craig Robinson spoke so highly of him, but what a hard worker he is. He has a great motor, and he's very driven to be great.
There he is. Can't get the tip and roll. Loose ball. Allen Crabbe was out of bounds when touching the basketball, and it goes right back to Oregon State.
And Coach Mike Montgomery very upset again about the bad pass, the turnover leading to a transition opportunity. Oregon State just not able to finish.
Roberto Nelson, 3.
Roberto Nelson, 3.
2 times on baseline out of bounds. Once in the first half, once in the second half. Cal defenders falling asleep and Roberto Nelson knocking down jumpers.
David Kravish gets the soft roll. 9-point Beaver lead. This Oregon State team suffered a big loss early with the injury to their senior center, Angus Brandt. It's been a tough recovery, especially to start a Pac-12 play, but getting a win against Washington last Thursday and trying to fuel themselves to a win here tonight. Tyrone Wallace, a clean look. Cal tracks it down. Long 2. No good from Justin Cobbs. Eric Moreland the rebound. Starks missed everything, but Eric Moreland has a shot swatted, but a foul called on Cal and Richard Solomon, his third. Third team foul on Cal here in the second half.
Well, this is an excellent job by Tyrone Wallace. First, just tracking Ahmad Starks, and then the battle down low. And that was a pretty clean block there by Richard Solomon. Maybe Crabbe got him before the ball went up, but Richard Solomon, that looked very clean up top.
Moreland 1 of 2 at the line. And it rattles in and out for Moreland, who is second in Oregon State history in blocked shots. Just believe it or not.
Well, he's doing that he's only into his sophomore year. Nearly a little over halfway through his sophomore year. He already has 115 blocks. The all-time leader, Scott Haskin, has 172. If Moreland stays around, he's going to shatter that record by the time he leaves Oregon State.
And Roberto Nelson with the offensive rebound. Now Nelson goes back door and one. Count the basket for Nelson. Nelson with 20. Oregon State up 11. So Washington, after starting conference play at 4-0, now 4-4, but a tremendous road win. Arizona now 18-2 overall. Let me ask you something. That's twice now in the last 3 games. Arizona's got off to a sluggish start. Happened last Thursday night at home against UCLA. Tonight they're down 16-5 before they get going. What needs to change for Arizona at the start of games?
You know, I don't know what it is. You know, if they're just coming in maybe overconfident about their ability to come back against teams, but you have to figure for Arizona, we have so much talent on the roster. We have good depth. We have excellent inside-out play. If we can get off some good starts, let's make teams try to play catch-up to us. You know, it's happened against San Diego State. They've had to make a late comeback. Florida dominate them for 36 minutes out of that game. They had to come back late. You know, they're kind of the cardiac cats this year. But something has to change where they can get off to better starts, get leads early, and try to hold on and be a dominant team.
Oregon State has equaled their largest lead of the night here. 15.5 minutes remaining.
Tonight we haven't seen Allen Crabbe as aggressive putting it on the floor. His first 2 years he was really a standstill jump shooter. This year doing a much better job of getting to the foul line as Brandon Smith knocks down his second three-pointer tonight. Had only made 3 threes going into tonight's game. But back to Allen Crabbe. He hasn't put it on the floor, kind of just relying on the jump shot. 9 of his 10 shots from the three-point line.
Oregon State by 9. Charlie Barton forced way out. Shot changed by David Kravish. Cal pushes. Brandon Smith again. Tipped out by Kravish, but Cal cannot keep it alive. And it goes to Oregon State.
Cobbs actually missed an opportunity. Allen Crabbe was trailing that play, and Joe Burton was going to have to close out on him. Cobbs did hit the open man in Brandon Smith, and the hot man in that case.
Joe Burton to the basket. Misses everything. Richard Solomon clears. He dribbles it out of traffic. David Kravish inside. Jump hook. Cal within 7.
I really like David Kravish and the maturity of his game. He may be frail in his body or slight of build, but he will post you up and has excellent skill. 17 feet and in.
6th time in double figures this season for Kravish.
And we talked about who could be that third guy. So far, David Kravish really stepping up tonight with double figures.
Eric Moreland travel. Oregon State gives it away. Now it seems like California's getting into a flow, into a rhythm.
Well, they seem to be much more dialed in on the defensive end. When you get stops, it leads to easier shots on the offensive end. And so far, that's been the case in the second half in the first 6 minutes.
And twice in conference play, Oregon State has led games at the half and let them slip away in the second half. They led Washington State by 4 last Saturday, lose by 3 at home to the Cougars. Led Oregon by 6 at Gill Coliseum, losing this Civil War battle to Oregon in Corvallis. Richard Solomon tips it in, and California within 5. Oregon State led it by 8 at the half. Jamal Reed missing. Craig Robinson not happy with his team right now.
Well, they're not getting good shots, but mostly because of what Cal's doing on the defensive end. They're much more dialed in, locking guys down, contesting each and every shot by the Beavers.
Justin Cobbs drives. Kravish swatted by Eric Moreland. Impressive block. Allen Crabbe missing the 3. Joe Burton the rebound. Oregon State in transition. Roberto Nelson somehow got it up and in.
A very high degree of difficulty on that finish by Roberto Nelson, but everything's been falling for him. He's been in a rhythm since the early part of this basketball game.
Nelson with 23, his 6th 20-point game of the season. Justin Cobb short on a 3. Joe Burton another rebound. Burton 12 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, doing it all for Craig Robinson and Oregon State.
Well, looking in the Princeton offense, the big fella initiating the offense and getting guys involved.
Alan Crabb with the block out of bounds to the Beavers with 12 on the shot clock.
Well, here we see the penetration, and then Moreland just coming from underneath the basket. And then the offense on the other end, the hesitation, the body control, and the banker off the glass, Roberto Nelson. Big time play on the offensive end.
Double figures in 6 straight for Nelson. 15 of the last 16 games. Really blossoming as a junior for Oregon State. Mont Starks crashes the key. Here comes Brandon Smith.
Right now, this is a danger zone for Cal Bears. Alan Crabb, Richard Solomon, both out of the game. 2 of their top 3 leading scorers. Where's the offense going to come from right now for the Bears?
It's the zone. Robert Thurman somehow muscles it up and in, and eludes the shot blocker, Eric Moreland.
Well, all created by Brandon Smith, driving the gap of the zone and then dropping it off on the money to Thurman.
9-2 run for Cal. They were down 12. It's a 5-point Beavers lead. Nelson has the hot hand. Tough fadeaway. Kept alive by Moreland. 5 on the shot clock. Nelson, tough shot. Kept alive by Joe Burton. Beautiful pass inside. David Kravish called for a foul on Eric Moreland. 3rd on David Kravish. A couple of free throws for Oregon State. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. Cal has trimmed Oregon State's lead down to 5. 10:42 remaining here at Haas Pavilion in Berkeley, in a place that's always going to be special to Oregon State head coach Craig Robinson. Now, this was back in 2009, after the inauguration for the first term of President Barack Obama, when Craig said Tuesday was a special, special day for me and for my family and for the country. And for the reception the students gave me in Berkeley almost choked me up as much as Tuesday did. This was on a game on the Thursday night, the first game after the inauguration back in 2009, and Cal students are going to have a spot in my heart. The reception that they gave Craig Robinson, Miles, in the first game after the inauguration, he came straight from Washington, D.C., right here to Berkeley for a game. And then Oregon State goes out and defeats Cal on this floor. But the students and the fans here at Haas Pavilion gave Craig Robinson a standing ovation when he took the floor that night.
Well, obviously the Cal Berkeley family and student section, they are knowledgeable people in the political world, and history, you know, was made that night when President Obama was inaugurated as the first African-American president in the history of our United States.
Eric Moreland missing the first 1 out of 5, and that night, Craig still remembers it vividly, coming here to Berkeley for that first game, and gets choked up, and he thinks of it every time he walks on this floor here at Haas Pavilion. And talking to Craig about that night, that experience, he had no idea what to expect going back to the inauguration, and they tell him, oh yeah, by the way, you're staying in the Lincoln bedroom. Robert Thurman the flush.
Excellent job of dissecting the defense there by Brandon Smith. The flash by David Kravish from the weak side, and then the excellent touch pass, big to big for the slam.
The man they call the Thurminator here in Berkeley has pulled Cal within 4, almost midway through the second half.
Cal's defensive effort in the second half has been the difference. Oregon State 5 for 18, 27%.
Olaf Schachten on. Mont Starks along 2. Got it.
So many different options in the Princeton offense, the dribble handoffs, the back doors. A lot of things to take away. You can't take away them all, and Ahmad Starks makes them pay.
In the zone look from Oregon State. Brandon Smith turned away. David Kravish inside.
We'd love to see the two big men playing on a string, playing off of each other. The post entry, Kravis reads it, sees a soft spot 8 feet away.
There's Starks. He is so quick. Pretty move on the baseline by Devon Collier.
In basketball, the low man is going to have the advantage and usually going to win the war. There, Devon Collier got lower than Thurman. Thurman was standing straight up on the defense trying to wall up, and Collier able to get lower and be quicker and explode up.
He's 19 points away from becoming the 37th player to 1,000 points at Oregon State. And Allen Crabbe knocks down Ahmad Starks. Second on Crabbe.
First, Robert Thurman in the back of the zone. The touch pass, Schoftenar rotates out a little bit too far. And then on the defensive end, Thurman usually does a good job, but he gets caught standing straight up. Quick spin move by Collier when he feels the body presence of Thurman there.
That was the 6th team foul on Cal, so Oregon State will be in the bonus for the rest of the night. And the Beavers have yet to be called for a foul here in the second half. Here's Joe Burton. Running hook. Loose ball. Cal comes away with it. Justin Cobbs. Allen Crabbe gets the loose ball. Another look for Cobbs. This one goes down. Third three for Cobbs, and we have a three-point game. And 8 minutes left.
And he shot that with a lot of confidence. The first one on the skip pass in transition was right on target, so he was feeling already in rhythm.
Crowd making some noise here in Berkeley. Foul going up for the putback is Eric Moreland. And David Kravish called for his 4th.
California foul 45 of David Kravish.
Two shots for Eric Moreland as David Kravish picking up his 4th foul. Needs to check out, and Moreland now just 2 of 7 from the free throw line. 16-7 run for Cal. Kravish a big part of it for the Bears, but now with 4 personals and 7:32 remaining. And the rebound, Allen Kravish, Moreland missing both. This is the closest Cal has been in a long time. Allen Crabbe to the goal. Foul. First team foul in Oregon State here in the second half.
This is a great dive to the basket. Allen Crabbe, one of the best in the country in moving without the basketball. Reads that his defender, Jamal Reed, the freshman, is trailing him. Beautiful bounce pass by Richard Solomon to the cutting Allen Crabbe.
Allen Crabbe 4th in the Pac-12. 85% free throw shooter on the year.
But this is where Allen Crabbe has really improved his game. And I talked about earlier that his first 2 years, he was really a catch and shoot guy, Roxy. He stayed in Berkeley all summer and really worked on his ball handling and putting the ball on the floor. Teams are running him off the three-point line. Last year, only 89 free throw attempts. This year, 19 games in, has already shot 97. That's a sign of being more aggressive, putting the ball on the floor, and having more of an emphasis on getting to the basket.
1-point game, and those are Crabbe's first points in the second half.
But I think that's a great sign for Cal that they've been able to come back in this game without their leading scorer having to score. That's other guys stepping up.
Here's Ahmad Starks. The Beavers need a bucket here. Eric Moreland has it stripped, and a foul, and Moreland going for the loose ball. His second.
Another Beaver foul on number 15, Eric Moreland. Second
A tale of two halves defensively for the Cal Bears. Atrocious in the first half, where Oregon State shoots 60%. Now in the second half, 7 for 22 is Oregon State, 32%.
Justin Cobbs for the lead. Cal in front with 6.5 to play. First lead for Cal since 15-13 remaining in the first half. Foul, and Ahmad Starks will go to the line. Craig Robinson wants a goaltend. First on Justin Cobbs.
Justin Cobbs really in rhythm tonight. He had only made 9 3-pointers. Pump fakes Roberto Nelson out of the play. And then you love the soft touch on the mid-range shot. Doesn't try to get too deep in that case.
Ahmad Starks, an 81% foul shooter. Already is Pac-12 Player of the Week once. And it rattles out for the junior from Whitney Young High School in Chicago.
And there's a little bit of a connection between Craig Robinson and Whitney Young High School. That's where Craig Robinson and the now Michelle Obama also attended high school. So I think he probably had a little bit of an in to help get Ahmad Starks to Corvallis.
We are tied at 60 with 6 minutes remaining here in Berkeley. Alan Crabb off on the three. Roberto Nelson the rebound for the Beavers. Cal has not won a game this season when trailing at halftime. 0-8 coming into tonight. Deep three from Starks. Kept alive by Joe Burton. And Oregon State resets. Roberto Nelson. Off-balance runner. Robert Thurman the rebound for Cal, and a foul against Oregon State. Just the third team foul of the Beavers.
I don't like how Oregon State's offense is functioning right now. In the first half, it was ball movement, player movement. They were getting transition opportunities. And I will give a lot of credit to Cal and what they've done on the defensive end, but Oregon State is no longer making them work. You're running ISOs in the long post for Roberto Nelson now. Let's get back to the Princeton offense, get some cuts, get some movement.
Tie game in Berkeley with 5 minutes to play. Richard Solomon. And Cal leads it by 2.
Solomon is so much more talented than what he's shown this season. He has touch from the outside. You'd love to see him bang down low a little bit more, but having a very solid game this evening.
Nice pass from Joe Burton to Roberto Nelson for the reverse.
Joe Burton, the leading assist guy on this Oregon State team, with his 8th assist of the evening. But not only that, he makes the assist with his weak hand. Talk about player development, skill development. Joe Burton has that under Craig Robinson.
He's got a shot at triple-double tonight. 12 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds for the senior. Justin Cobbs missing for the baseline. Robert Thurman has it stripped by Ahmad Starks. Here comes the speedy guard. And a foul against Brandon Smith. His third will send Starks to the line. But the big man, Robert Thurman, bringing the ball down, Miles. The Cardinals sin for a big man.
Yeah, first on this backdoor play, Joe Burton initiating the offense. Solomon comes over to help a little bit too far. Brandon Smith gets caught ball watching, but beautiful pass by Joe Burton, one of the best big men at passing the ball in the country, and does it with his offhand. And you're right, Thurman made one mistake. He gets the offensive rebound. He could have gone up with a little touch shot from 3 feet, but tried to power up and brought that ball down where Ahmad Starks could get at it.
Starks gets the front end of the 1-and-1, and he puts Oregon State back in front. One more coming for Starks. '67th career start tonight for the junior. And the Beavers have a 2-point lead.
And Starks now has 10 points, 4 guys in double figures for Oregon State. One of 6 teams in the country that have 5 players that average double figures.
And it really is 6 because Angus Brandt, before he got injured, was in double figures in his 4 games that he played this year.
Great balance by the squad, and Cal only counters with 2 guys, Cobbs and Crabb, that lead the way, averaging 20 and 14 respectively.
Here's Crabb inside. Followed by Robert Thurman. Mike Montgomery gets time. Craig Robinson wants an offensive goaltend, but Robert Thurman at the rim ties the game. Historic Telegraph Avenue just across the street from the Cal campus in Berkeley. Tie game, 3:35 remaining, and a Cal trailing by as many as 12 points in the second half. How have they gotten back into this game?
Well, one, they've done it on the defensive end, but 2, on the offensive end, they've really shared the basketball. Season high, 22 assists, and it's been different guys. Alan Crabb has gone cold in the second half. A lot of guys touching the basketball. Thurman, Kravish, Solomon, Brandon Smith has knocked down jump shots, and they've been much more aggressive, playing much harder in the second half on both ends of the floor, Roxy.
When they played Colorado last Sunday, it was a tale of 2 halves, and the Buffs jumped out to a big lead, and Cal put up a season-low 18 points on Sunday, and Boulder responded with a huge second half offensively, but their defense struggled. Here they're putting both together in the second half on their home floor, and Mike Montgomery looking for his 100th win tonight as the Cal head coach. And now let's see, Oregon State has the answer. Ahmad Starks with Roberto Nelson, Devon Collier, Eric Moreland, and Joe Burton, the 5 for Craig Robinson. Cal counters with Justin Cobbs, Brandon Smith, Alan Crabb, Richard Solomon, and Robert Thurman. Joe Burton inside, blocked by Robert Thurman. Again, Burton puts it in, and the Beavers up 2.
You love the persistence of Joe Burton there at 6'7", gets his shot blocked by the longer Cal defender there, but he stays with it and fades away to create some separation and knock down the shot.
He's so crafty. Angles and the way he's able to find little crevices to get shots up.
Well, he really uses his body well, and he has a very wide body that he can throw around.
Long from Richard Solomon. Robert Thurman keeps it alive. Cobbs for the lead. Got it!
Robert Thurman has been great in this second half, especially on the offensive end, getting the offensive rebound, and one of the best times to shoot a 3-point shot is when the defense is scrambling off an offensive rebound. Excellent kick out to Cobbs.
Ties a season high for Cal. 8 3-pointers made tonight. Collier. Out of bounds off of Oregon State. It goes to California. We've got a tight one here in Berkeley. Along the line for both Cal and Oregon State. A 1-point game, an exciting finish straight ahead from Haas Pavilion. Cal with the ball coming out of the timeout. Roberto Nelson, the hot hand, leads all scorers with 25 for Oregon State, but he's been quiet here as of late while Cal has gone on this run. Oregon State leading by as many as 12. The Beavers had an 8-point lead at the half. Richard Solomon, a kick out. Alan Crabb on the baseline. Cal by 3.
And that's the guy that's carried you all season long. Get him a touch, let something happen. I love the inside-out action against the zone defense.
His first field goal of the second half. Where does Oregon State go for offense?
Look at the attention that Roberto Nelson is garnering right now.
Tough shot. Ahmad Starks hits the fadeaway.
He's the scorer, 12 points a game, 40% from the field, but at 5'9", got a little bit of extra arc on that one to drop it in softly.
Oregon State in the zone here. 1 minute remaining.
I'd like to see Crabb get the ball in the wing and let Joe Burton close out against him. See if Crabb can operate and get to the basket.
10 on the shot clock. Justin Cobbs. A three. Missed it short. Alan Crabb keeps it alive for a count. Oregon State has only committed 3 team fouls. So if they need to foul, they better do it in a hurry.
But it's hard to communicate that when your bench is on the further end from the court. You don't have your defense in front of you, unlike the NBA.
10-second differential between the shot and game clock here. Richard Solomon off the feed from Justin Cobbs. Timeout, Oregon State. That possession could not have gone any better for California.
On the initial possession, Alan Crabb didn't get a touch in a tie game. But he didn't give up on the play when the shot went up by Justin Cobbs. He sought out the basketball, got the offensive rebound, and then Justin Cobbs does a great job on the reset, penetrating the zone, the ball screen, draws the shot blocker, and Richard Solomon goes up strong. And a timeout was called. And watch Mike Montgomery. This is a veteran coach. They're dancing, they're celebrating. This game is not over. It's 17.5 seconds left. Get back on defense, get in the huddle first of all. See what your coach has to say, one of the best of all time. Get the defense locked in. You haven't won this game yet. But I love what Mike Montgomery did to get the composure, get things back under control for this Cal team.
Now Mike Montgomery takes a 30-second timeout after Oregon State took one immediately. Is this where he wants to see what alignment Oregon State and get a gauge of what they're going to try to do offensively?
Well, I don't know if you get a good gauge, because if they're going to run a Princeton set, which you have plenty of time to do, it's going to be a dribble handoff. It's stuff that they've gone over during walkthrough and practice the last couple days. So I don't know if anything surprises them about the way they line up. It would be great scouting detail if you knew that Roberto Nelson came out in the left corner or came out to get the basketball. You can say that they're going to run this play after the timeout, but there's a lot of different options that Oregon State can go to.
You have a 3-point lead, 17.6 seconds remain. Are you a believer in fouling in this situation if you're Cal?
I was not a believer for a long time, but I think right now in this situation, if you can get it, and it's something that you've practiced as a team, if you can foul under 6 or 7 seconds left, I say go for it.
Here's Ahmad Starks. Inside Devon Collier. As it dropped out of bounds, Oregon State ball, 7.3 remaining. Oregon State needs a three. Joe Burton. They don't get it off. California escapes with a win, and Mike Montgomery is 100th victory as the California head coach.
Well, the defense is what got it done for the Cal Bears in the second half. That sparked the comeback after being down 8 at the half. A lot of production from many different guys for the Bears. But they locked up on the defensive end when they needed to. They get the block shot at first, and then on the baseline out of bounds play, they don't let the best three-point shooters, in this case Starks and Nelson, don't get a touch. Joe Burton passes one up, was hesitant, didn't know where to go with it, and they couldn't execute in the final seconds.